When I first got into politics, real like left-wing politics, uh, the first guy that you run into is Bernie Sanders. He's a champion of the ideas that we espouse today. 5 years ago, nobody knew what Medicare for All was. Nobody knew that a healthcare system that is better, that is more moral, that is more just, that works for everybody was possible. 5 years ago, nobody knew that tuition-free college was possible, and that middle-class citizens don't need to be shackled down by student debt. 5 years ago, nobody thought it was possible that the minimum wage could be a living wage so that millions of Americans didn't have to live in poverty. 5 years ago, nobody knew that nobody knew how broken our criminal justice system was. And then he brought it to light. 5 years ago, people didn't talk about how corrupt the military-industrial complex was, that it would just fund these wars. Democrats and Republicans both would fund these wars for their own profit, and the destruction of the middle class would then ensue as a result. My point is, the issues that this campaign has talked about, the issues that this campaign has brought to light, are all issues that we are winning the ideological battle on. Red, blue, and purple states all agree with us on the vast majority of things. Exit poll after exit poll, Americans support Medicare for all, Americans support tuition-free college, Americans support ending the wars, Americans support keeping our jobs here and ending horrible trade agreements like NAFTA and TPP. This guy brought those to light. And we're just starting. Even though he's dropped out, it's just starting. He always said, it's not about me, it's about us. And what that means is, sure, he was the leader. Sure, he was. He definitely was. He's a great leader. And his fight's going to continue. I mean, he said that part of the reason he's dropping out is so we can focus his efforts on helping people through the economic fallout of the coronavirus. But it's not always about him. The next leader is going to step up. The next person is going to step up in our movement. The next person will step up. I don't know who it'll be. I don't know when it'll be. 4 years from now, we will have another leader like Bernie Sanders. Same ideas. Maybe not the rich history that Bernie had, marching with Dr. Martin Luther King in the 60s, protesting the Vietnam War, fighting against the Iraq War, fighting against the Wall Street bailouts in 2008. But somebody will step up with the same ideology as him. And 4 years from now, we're gonna look back and we're gonna mourn Bernie Sanders and what could have been, but we're gonna have our new champion, and that champion will fight for us. But my point being that Joe Biden is not that person. If you believe in these ideas, Joe Biden doesn't. And that's why I will not be voting for Joe Biden this November, because we have a direct ideological disagreement when it comes to 90% of the issues. We just disagree. He doesn't support a Green New Deal. He doesn't support Medicare for all. He doesn't support tuition-free college. He doesn't support ending the wars. He doesn't support basically anything that you want to fight for. Basically anything, any reason why you would vote for Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden would be opposed to that or be on the opposite side of that. Politics in America have been dragged so far to the right, the ideological spectrum is so far to the right, that Bernie Sanders, who's looked at as a crazy communist socialist from hell, would be a moderate in any other country, any other modern country. And the Democratic Party in America is the conservative party of any other country, modern country. So I'm not going to sit back and let the DNC continue to screw us over, spit us in the face, and then come running back and asking for our vote in November. Done for it. I'm done. They are going to cave to our needs, to what the working class people need. We're done voting for corporatists. We're done voting for so-called centrists. We're not doing it anymore. And when Joe Biden gets landslided by Donald Trump this November, don't come crying to me about it, because I had my champion. You know what I mean? This guy would landslide Donald Trump. So don't come crying to me about it when your neoliberal centrist corporate goon gets landslided. I think I want to leave with a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King that really kind of encapsulates, if I could speak, what we're going through right now. I must confess that over the past few years, I've been gravely disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in his stride for freedom is not the white citizens' counselor or the Ku Klux Klaner, but the white moderate, who is more devoted to order than justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice. And I think I just want to leave off with that quote. Really think about that quote. And just know that we'll be back. This progressive movement's not over. We'll be back.